Friends, in this video for iThought Wealth, I am going to talk to you on the topic role of an advisor for a retail investor. In whatever we do, when we begin in the early phases, when we learn the ropes of what we are trying to do, as we evolve, we need a lot of help. How we learn in the early years, what we are taught, how we are taught, and how we are guided towards the right path is very, very critical. That has the power and the potential to decide whether we are going to do well at what we are trying to do, whether we are going to stay the course, and whether we are going to achieve something out of our efforts. This is true whether we learn a game, or whether we learn a subject, or whether we learn a vocation. Investing is more than all these things, and it takes for multidisciplinary approaches. It has a behavioral need, and it has always the unknown factor which will be staring at us when we least expect it. So when we go about doing that, it's always important as to who is going to guide us through this journey. Often we see that many people don't embark on this journey simply because they don't know how to find that mentor, friend, guide, advisor who will help them make the journey. On the other hand, those who find this person early tend to get a head start over those who don't find this person. This has been my personal experience, and this has also been my observation of peers. I found this person almost before I graduated, and I stuck to that person. I did not evaluate or try to judge that person, and instead went about faithfully practicing what I was taught and trying out new things with prior approval of the person who was mentoring me and who was advising me. Peers can be your advisor, but you have to choose a peer who's very level-headed, behaviorally balanced, and well equipped to do what he's doing. Most often, we tend to choose somebody who is proximate or somebody whom we believe knows the art of making a quick buck. Both these traits don't necessarily stand us in good stead over a medium or long term. Most of the investors in the 90s who tried these shortcuts are out of the market. What I would see in every market cycle is somebody who is trying to be clever by half and trying to do things too fast, too soon, would be left out of the market or would take the wrong direction sometime late in a bull run, never to return to the markets. So they would actually miss 3-4 years and go back to leaving their money in their bank account or in a fixed deposit or simply idling it. The reason is that their misadventures lead them away from doing the right thing. This I have seen happen in every market cycle. If only these people had stuck to one or two decent advisors, peers or professionals, they would have never left the market. On the contrary, I have seen people whom we don't judge as very smart, who have stuck with a few sensible people all the time. And if they did this for a few years, then they would have crossed the most difficult phase of learning and familiarization with investing, by which time they would not be as adventurous or as risk hugging as the others. So the staying power of an investor depends upon who he is with in the early years of his investing, and a retail investor must understand the importance of keeping right company. I see a lot of retail investors worry about how much they pay, and I go back in time to think about how much I paid when I was a retail investor. The brokerage in a transaction was more than 1%, and if I had to transact in Bombay or Calcutta Stock Exchange, then it went up to as high as 3%. Even there, it was very, very important to only trade with brokers who would honor their commitments. Such were the times. So, keeping the right company was the most important thing then, and it is now. Today, there is an ecosystem where people tell you everything is free, but what is also coming free with this freedom is an abundance of wrong choices, misguidance, incentives to trade, and opportunities to lose your capital. Essentially, factors which can damage you permanently come free, and I would never go near this if I were to reinvent. Yes, costs are important. I will try to manage my costs reasonably, but I would not go to something which incentivizes me, gives something free so that it alters my behavior terminally. It's like going to a pub which has happy hours with the idea that you can drink more. That is, to my mind, a very poor choice for anybody to make. And I'm sure it's not something you can do sustainably. So, effectively, you need to make these choices correctly. You need to choose where you are going to invest, through whom you are going to invest, who is going to advise you, what is the kind of behavior that you are going to create by all these associations, and how you are going to use these bonds and ties in the initial years of your learning so that you remain in the stock market while those who did not follow or give importance to these aspects leave the market. Staying in the stock market is as much winning. Friends, that has been my lesson, and I am sure it will be the lesson of everybody who comes into the stock market. If you like this video, I would request you to share it with a number of your friends who are now in the first cycle of their market, those whom I call first market cycle investors. I'm sure they would appreciate your sharing this video with them, and I would request you to stay the journey with iThought Wealth. Thank you.